Your first WLED controller. Where do you get started? What do you do? How do you even configure it? How do you get it onto your network? I'm going to go over the one I have. The one I have here today is going to be an Anthom controller, so it may not be exactly the same as the WLED device that you have, whether it be a DIG Quad or a DIG Octa or even the DIG Uno, maybe just a bare ESP32 or an ESP8266. But it'll go over the Anthom controller, and a lot of the features we go over today will be exactly the same. So let's get started. Down here you'll notice the WLED access point. For mine it's going to be open. Like I said, the Anthom is an open setting. If you're going to use a different one, you may have a password, which I believe is WLED1234, all lowercase. Give that a try and let me know if I'm wrong in the comments, which I'm sure you will. Okay, so we went ahead and connected to the Anthom device. I'm going to go ahead and hit my Wi-Fi settings and hit scan. You'll find my FBI Wi-Fi here real quick. And because it's going to be the closest one to my device, it should fill up. Yes, exactly. It fills up right here. So you'll notice the closest one grabbed itself. I'm going to insert my password. I'm going to keep this zeroed for now. And the reason is, whether it's right or wrong, but this is how I do it. I have it set up for a port forward, or not a port forward, but a reserved port on my Eero mesh system. Whether you enjoy the mesh systems or not, I have one. I like it and it works well. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this 0 because I'm looking at the MAC address via my router. I could come back after I get that address and fill it up, but I doubt I do that. SSID I'll keep here. Now this here is going to be the name of the WLED device. So this one is going to live in the pantry, and we will call the pantry WLED.local. Other than that, I'm going to hit save and connect. Now I'm going to lose all settings to it once I reboot. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this, reboot, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that we are back into the WLED configuration, I went ahead and hit my IP address that I know it was sitting to. We're going to have to configure your first WLED device. Right away is the LED preferences. I turn this off every time. So depending on which LED you're using, if you're using the WS2811 like I am today, the maximum wattage per the pixel, if you're on 5 volts, is going to be 0.3 watts, and if you're at the 12 volts, it's going to be at 0.6 watts. So if you have, that is at 100% brightness on the white channel, well, the white color, I can't say white channel, but on the white color. So if you have everything fused properly, there's no need for this. And in fact, the software will kind of mess it up, so I advise to turn this off and fuse everything as expected, and you won't have any problems. Just make sure you do the math accordingly to get your current and your cable size correctly. So turning that off, and I have a length of 50 lights, so that's gonna be there. GRB, it's gonna go with RGB, because that is the color code of the WS2811, and that's all we need for that. So as you notice now, when I go to green, I have green colors. When I go to blue, I have blue. And if I'm turning my head, it's because I'm confirming that the video I'm showing you with the lights is working. So I could also change and look at peak. However, if you had your color code wrong, it would still show you red, green, and blue here on the peak, but it would not show the actual color right of the lights. Okay, now let's get into presets. All these effects have different settings. I'm only going to hit a few here, so I can go into more detail, but I'm going to make this a quick video and not get too far in depth on everything all at once, but just to get you started. Right. So blink, you get your foreground and your background, so if you want it to be blue and white. And then once again, if you hit that peak, you can see how it's blinking. Or another fun one is Chase 2. And you can hit the effect. So down here is effect speed. You want it to go faster. and the width. So if you want a lot of smaller sections, you can have that go, you know, a larger section or the smaller section. Let's say you enjoy this setting, okay, but you don't have to go to Chase 2, set up your width, set up your speed each time. This is where presets come in at. So on preset, simply hit plus preset, and you can call it blue, white. Okay, keep the current state, include the brightness, and save the segment bounds. And we haven't gone over segments yet, but right now segment 0 has all 50. We'll come back to that in 1 minute. Save the ID number 1. There we go, now we have a preset. So let's go ahead and hit another one. We'll do a candle. Maybe we'll make this one pink, and we'll make it pink and red. And this is the intensity. So you can change the speed. Let's get it going pretty quick. Let's make this a little easier to see. Pink and red's hard to transition. So this is simulating a candle, right? Just like the flames, right, of a candle. So let's go ahead and hit that as a preset. Candle will be fine. Save to ID number 2. Now presets come in handy whenever you go into your config mode and time and macros. So if you want to hit your time and set it to how you want it, my current time is not what that is, but that's not my time zone either. I am Central Time Zone. Perfect. 12:41. Okay, I'm not going to give my location. Button actions if you want to play with that. But time controlled presets. All these are enabled right now. No big deal, but you can enable and disable all the ones that you want. So if I wanted this to be connected all the time, and I'll say at 5 a.m. at 0, I'll turn on preset 1. Okay, so then I could do 5:30, go to preset 2. And this is really helpful whenever you want to go through holidays. If you want January 1st to about on January 15th, if you want a New Year playlist, or if you want a December 1st to December 31st for Christmas, maybe you want to start at Thanksgiving, middle of November. This is where all that would happen. So you'd pick your weekends, pick your schedules, and set that up accordingly. I'm not going to worry about that, but it was a quick show you how that works. You can also scroll all the way down if you didn't notice what I did there. If you hit LED preference, you scroll all the way down to preset at boot. If you do preset 0, there is no preset. It's just going to be a random color. If you hit preset 1, it'll start with the preset at number 1 at boot. Brightness factor is also going to be 100%. Now, back to the power calculations, I run everything around 30% at a max. At least that's what my power calculations are based off of. Some people don't agree with that. They say plan for 100%, but only run 30. I based mine on 30% and only run it at 30%. Right or wrong, that's what I did. But I would recommend that you run these at 20% unless you have neighbors that you dislike. Or it's going to be inside that you don't need it to be, that you're okay with it being so bright. So 20% is fine for this. And I'm going to hit save. Okay, now we're going to hit up segments. Real quick, I'm not going to mess with segments a lot, but I will show you enough to where you can somewhat grasp it. We can get into a deeper video with this, but be careful. If you mess with segments and things aren't working right, it's because the segments are probably messed up. So I'm going to make a segment 0 to 10, and you're going to notice something happening immediately. So I'm going to go put peak on here, and bouncing balls. And really my peak's not even working, so we're gonna immediately show that there's a problem. But you'll notice on my video here I'm showing the lights that only 10 LEDs are doing anything. Now if I hit segment 2, segment 1 I guess, and do 20, turn this one off, but I keep segment 1 selected, Now I can have this one working. So notice this hasn't changed. It's still doing its own thing, but segment 1 is doing something different. Now if I had another segment, 20 to 50, I want this one to do a chase 3. All kinds of effects going on one strand. What I mean by when things aren't working is because if you don't have these selected and you try changing something, you're only changing the one segment that you have. Now it looks easy here on the computer because you notice, well, of course you don't have these selected. Except on the phone, it's not that clear. It's different tabs, it's different architecture, you don't see this. You can also change your brightness per segments, but it doesn't work unless this is selected. So you hit the selection, now you change your brightness, and you'll notice that the colors and the lights go down. But if you want all three of them selected, and now you change something to a chase 3, everything should be working correctly. So once again, I don't want to get in deep the trenches of segments. I'm not going to hit grouping or spacing right now because that only makes it more confusing, but it makes the lights shorter, longer, however you need. We can hit a whole nother video just about segments if you want to. But this has successfully configured your first WLED device and got it to your network. Let me know in the comments if I forgot anything or if there's anything else you think I should have gone over. Thank you.